All right, guys, I am super excited about this video. This video is going to teach you, yes, on how to get your house with 0% down. I am super excited because when I was a mortgage broker, I had no idea this loan product even existed. And so this is going to teach you a little bit of steps on how to go ahead and approach your mortgage broker or your mortgage originator on how to go ahead and get this loan for you. Okay, let's jump right into it. All right, let's touch on the highlights of this program. So, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to have a 0% down. That's awesome. Okay. Typically, you're going to have lower rates than your conventional loans, even FHA loans. Okay. You're going to have lower mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance, don't get that confused with house insurance. Mortgage insurance is placed on these type of loans because you put less than 20% down. All right. So having said that, how do you achieve this loan or how do you get this loan? You do it two ways. Either you do it direct or a way is called guaranteed, and that's working with the partners of the USDA. This is for rural areas, but you'll be surprised. You really be surprised. There are so many rural areas according to the USDA. Most likely, if you drive right outside of the metropolitan area that you live in right now, if you live in a metropolitan area, that's going to be a rural area. Okay. I'll give you a quick example. If you are in Orlando and let's say you go right outside of Orlando, say to St. Cloud or say to Kissimmee, some parts of Kissimmee, or let's say to Claremont, or let's say Mineola, any of those parts, the majority of those parts are considered rural areas. So you can get to those areas if you drive just a little bit to your work. And this is not necessarily for first-time home buyers or first-time homeowners, okay? So that's very important to understand as well. So what is the USDA? USDA is a government-backed loan offered by many lenders. Again, when I was a mortgage broker, I had no idea that this program even existed. Okay, so what is the USDA? Is the United States Department of Agriculture. Okay, I had no idea that even existed. Okay, so having said that, how do you get approved? The approval process is by a system called GUS. GUS, when you're a mortgage broker, you're able to use this type of program to go ahead and input all the information, and it basically tells you, hey, this person qualifies, and the person qualifies for X, right? It could be 300,000 with 7% mortgage or whatever it is. So GUS spits all that out. So it's pretty much generated very easily. Now, the down payment, as I said, this program, 0% down. Okay? So check this out. You cannot have in your bank account 20% down to be able to put down on a house if you're using a conventional loan. So say, for instance, if you have, this doesn't apply to everybody, obviously, but let's say, for instance, you're trying to buy a $400,000 house. Well, 10% of 400 is 40,000. You should not have $80,000 in your bank account, or else you will not get approved for this type of program. All right, so that's very important to understand. Another thing, for the closing costs, this is awesome because for a closing cost, same as other loans, right? You're going to have a closing cost. You're going to have, your taxes, your insurance, any kind of fees that are associated, your title work, all of that. Now, you cannot waive the escrow. What the escrow means? The escrow basically is you're putting your insurance and you're putting your house insurance and your taxes included in your monthly payment. Okay. Now, you can wrap your closing costs into the loan. What does that mean? Basically, you could get a house basically for free, for nothing, okay? Because they say, for instance, like I've seen done before, you could go ahead and say, okay, let's say the house is worth $300,000. Or let's say the house is worth $300,000. If you get a house that's worth $300,000, you could go ahead and negotiate with the seller and say, hey, seller, I would like for you to go ahead and put down or help me with the closing costs, 3%. If you don't have a realtor, that's a win-win situation. If you do have a realtor, it's going to be a little harder because now the seller is going to come out of pocket 3%, maximum for the seller agent. They're going to come out of pocket 3% for your agent, and they're going to come out of pocket 3% for closing costs. That's a total of 9%, which that's going to be a big dent. Okay. So if you do not have a realtor, you may be able to get away with it. Even if you don't have a realtor, this is how I'm going to give you bonus tip on how to get away with rolling your closing costs into the loan. The way you do it, you negotiate a little higher. So let's say, for instance, the house, they're selling it for $300,000, but it's actually worth $320,000. Well, you then say, let's go ahead and put the sales price at $310,000. And then what's going to happen is that extra $10,000, give it to me so you help me with the closing costs. That's a win-win situation as well, because guess what? At the end of the day, the seller doesn't come out of pocket. All right. So, as I was saying, seller's credit, they can contribute up to 6%. So if they don't have a realtor, you don't have a realtor, that's a very easy way to go ahead and give you those credit towards your closing costs. Okay. Seller's credit can make your offer less attractive. That's something to consider. So let's take again this purchase price of $350 as an example, right? You put 0% down, your closing costs, you're looking at about $6,500. If the seller contributes 1%, you're looking at a $3,500 credit, which means that you would only have to come up with $3,000 for the closing costs. So all in all, you just put $3,000. All in all, you just put $3,000 down to stop renting. How about that? Guys, listen, this is just a quick video I wanted to share with you guys. USDA loan, I'm going to put the link in the description below on finding the properties that you may be interested in within that map. That's going to say this area is a rural area or this area is not a rural area. If you're in a metropolitan area, say for instance, if you're in Orlando or you're in Miami or you're in Jacksonville, that may not work for you. But use the link in the description and you never know. If the house is enticing to you, if you love the house, go for it. Put that information on the map and see if that property is considered a USDA area for rural. Okay. Very, very quick video. I just, again, wanted to touch on all this information. Share this video. If you liked it, please go ahead and hit the like button and or subscribe. We would definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys.